name is Carter Stern. I'm a volunteer attorney for Mr. Valera. I'm helping him out.
Appreciate you being here. We allow an interpreter. We don't allow someone else to speak for an individual or on behalf of an individual. Without a suspension of the rules, I'm looking around the room. 1, 2, 3, 4. Need the motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Is there discussion, favoring, opposed? Motion carries. By that, I assume that Mr. Valera is not going to be.
Yes, I understand.
I just want to, Mr. Hallman, I just want to make sure that we not normally allow an attorney.
The speaker that signed up should speak. If the attorney, we've suspended the rules, we have the attorney speaking on behalf, I think Lauren should speak for him.
I did so on the assumption that he was translating, but I'll proceed. Go ahead.
Thank you. This past February, Mr. Valera, his neighbor noticed that his water meter, which is in a depression, there's a little bit of water. There's a little bit of water filling up in there. Mr. Valera then called the city, let them know, so I think there may be a leak. What should I do? They sent somebody out, turned his water off. The next day was Friday. He called the city when he realized his water was off, and asked them what he should do. And they said, we sent somebody out. They looked at the pipe and determined that the leak was on your side of the property, so you please fix it, and that will solve the problem, put the water back on. So Mr. Valera waits all weekend because he couldn't get a plumber out that weekend. Monday morning, somebody comes out, fixes the pipe, no problem, they turn it back on. He thinks that's the end of it. At the end of the month, he received a water bill for $10,000, saying he had used 719,000 gallons of water, which is much more than is even in the Olympic pool. When we went to administrative hearing, I understand they're constrained by the statute, but all they're offering us is he can pay about $1,500, $1,800 a month for 3 months to pay out that bill. And while we're not arguing that maybe there was a leak on his side of the property, there's a big ditch running alongside, there was no water in there. There was no other evidence of any water, that volume of water being leaked. And so, yes, I think there was probably a small leak on his side. He's more than willing to pay that amount, but we need to go anywhere that we can possibly go asking, we need some help, because you might as well just tell him that you're going to shut his water off. Because that is not the amount of money that he can pay. The bill is about 10 times his monthly mortgage payment. So we're not trying to cheat anybody, wriggle out of his water bill. We need some help figuring out what the bill is, what the actual amount of water that was discharged his property was, and so that we can take care of the bill and move forward.
I would like to add, please, if I can. I also, it's logical. I'm trying to approach the logical standpoint of view. Basically, if there was so much water or so many gallons spilled, which a few swimming pools, I didn't see, it was only small bubbling, and I didn't see any flooding. In fact, the plumbers would not be able to work and fix my plumbing if there was any stagnant water, which that was not the case. I told Mr. Valera, I did a good job because there was no water standing. In fact, I do have evidence and written statements that there was no water at the time. The ditch was not filled, and yet they are telling me 719,000 gallons of water, which is unbelievable. I just want to see the logic of this. If they tell me where did that water go, where is the water, I need an explanation. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we proceed to the attorney, would you formally identify yourself so we can put you in the record?
Yeah, my name is Carter Stern.
Carter Stern.
S-T-E-R-N.
Thank you. And there are several council members with questions to Mr. Norman. He raises a good point. I don't see anything in the notes I have that there was evidence that there was a gushing water leak. I've seen those, I've reported those. There's no indication anything in here that the kind of water leak that he's being charged for was there. And so I'd like to hear back from you about whether the meter was checked out. Chair recognizes Councilmember Laster.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Valera. Thank you, Mr. Strong, for coming forward today. Mayor, you and I and members of the legal department have had a couple of conversations. I've become increasingly concerned over the last multiple months about these presentations before council about these smart meters. There are a number of other folks that have made presentations such as this that I'm trying to do a little research on, and I know Councilmember Pennington, who is not with us today, has shared some concerns, and we've had some conversations with the legal department. I think from what I can ascertain at this point in time, the Public Works Department is doing everything they are allowed to do within the scope of the boundaries of the ordinance as they have been written, and certainly don't want to cast any aspersions there, but I'm very concerned about citizens that continue to present themselves to us on these sorts of enormously outrageous descriptions of water usage. And I would hope that the legal department and the administration, all of us would look forward a way, not only in this particular instance, but several of the other folks that are standing in line and looking for some element of justice here. I think everybody that's presented themselves to us this year has always acknowledged that they're willing to pay a fair amount, if in fact there is a fair amount. And I think determining what the fair amount is the crux of the matter. So I look forward to working with your administration and legal department, and I thank you. I know my administrative, my agenda and policy director is waiting to give you a card, so if you would please be in communication with my office, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Councilmember, I share your frustration. I have been in communication with the legal department about what flexibility we might have should we rewrite the ordinance. But in this particular case, I also want to know whether the possibility of a meter misread, and I don't see anything in the notes I have saying that the meter has been tested, and I want that tested before they go forward.
I share that concern, and a couple of the other instances that I have looked at, the timing of the meter testing and how long it takes, and the work of citizens to get that done seems to be of some concern. So.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Burks.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple of questions here. In reading about this, it said that there was 11 gallons of water leaking per minute. Did you see any water?
Did I see any water? I've seen bubbling, and that wasn't much. And that's what my neighbor called me, and I went to see. It was a small bubbling, not even like the water boils, and it's not even that much. It was a small bubble.
Where was the leak at? Where was it?
It was close. It was to the proximity of the water main, which was a few inches to my side of the house. But it was right almost by the water main.
Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilmember Noriega.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm really delighted that my colleague, Councilmember Laster, is on the case because I think this needs some attention. My response is probably more emotional than anything else. I'm sick of water stuff. People come in here with stories that absolutely stagger the imagination, and I can't figure out why we can't deal with, negotiate, whatever. We used to do audits when you were controller, and I'm wondering if there might be some appropriate place to ask for some kind of an overview of the whole deal. Because I don't know that they're very nice, and these stories are just amazing, and it's fairly regular. And so I'm with Councilmember Laster, and he obviously has studied this more than I have, but I'm really concerned that there's a problem that we haven't addressed.
Is there a motion to extend time? Discussion favoring, opposed, motion carries. Councilmember, when I was in the controller's office, we did an audit of the electronic meters, and we had a serious problem at the beginning of the deployment that diminished over time, which is always why the first response from the city of Houston ought to be to go check the meter, make sure that it's registering.
The assumption that the homeowner or the person with the water is wrong is kind of the beginning, and it goes from there. I think we need to have a service mentality. I think we need to be gracious to people. I think we need to try to help them work with stuff. I think an $1,800 water bill would stagger anybody. And I'm grateful that I have a colleague that's tracking this, and I just want to, ditto what he said. But I also think that there's another issue that's a little more subtle, and that is how people are dealt with. And I think we need the equipment audited. I think we need the way we think through this audited. I just think it would be a useful thing. Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Cohen.
Thank you, Mayor. And I too share exactly what was said by Councilmember Noriega and Councilmember Lassiter. I had these thoughts a couple of weeks ago when we had a similar incident of a homeowner. It seems to me what we're saying is that the homeowner has to prove that they didn't do something, rather than the city proving that they did do something. And how do you prove that something didn't happen? I didn't use this amount of water. It's very difficult to prove I didn't do something. It's difficult to prove a negative, but it's difficult to prove I didn't do something. And what's happening to homeowners is they're having to engage attorneys, which obviously that's mine. But engage attorneys, their health is suffering. I mean, getting a bill for $1,300 could seriously get somebody terribly upset. What bothers me is that we're not using common sense. I mean, if somebody gets a bill of $1,300, someone in the department has to say, this simply can't be right. And we need to err on the side of the consumer. And as far as I'm concerned, that's where, from what I've seen in the past 7 months, that's where we are, we're not being sensitive. If it doesn't make sense, then let's say, okay, let's put a hold on this, rather than expect someone to expend the kind of funds and energy that is happening. So I too share the concerns of my colleagues. Thank you.
To be accurate, the bill was $9,083.81.
Well, I apologize, it's 8,000 more than my.
Yeah, 9,000 was certainly sent to you.
That's stroke money.
Thank you. Councilmember Green.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I too want to just chime in on this particular issue with regard, same issue with our residents, and Councilmember Lassiter and Ray and Cohen, I think they expressed the problem well. From a proactive standpoint, if we know we're having challenges with the ordinance, or Public Works is kind of locked in by the ordinance, is the administration going to come forward, maybe some language that can help us, deal with these issues come up, and has legal looked at the issue to see what we can do to provide, some relief, or give us some flexibility when we have these type of issues.
As I stated earlier, Councilmember, the legal department is looking at ways we can either amend or interpret the ordinance in a different way. And also, as I indicated, I think the first step on the city's side should be to go out proactively and check the meter, rather than waiting for the citizen to do something. And that does not require an ordinance change. That's just a policy change inside the department. Mayor Pro Tem Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. One other thought, as a district council member, a lot of our constituents, sometimes this is one of the major issues that they bring to our attention is when there's excess charges and they feel that it's not fair. I think that we're missing the old customer service site that we used to have on Leland, I believe, in my opinion, because it gave the citizens an opportunity to go and discuss these issues face to face, where the customer service representative maybe take pictures, try to resolve those issues. Motion to extend.
Second.
Move to second. We don't have enough, Councilmember.